Hey everyone, and welcome to my second video on my tips and tricks kind of guide thingy for the second Hitti mission. So, I was saying it wrong the first time in my first video. I was calling them Hatti at one point because one of the enemy teams in it was called the Hattians. They're in fact called the Hitti. I will get the pronunciation right this time, I promise. So, if you don't know what this video is about, this is a little kind of tips and tricks series, or you could call it kind of a guide, for the Hitti missions in the Hitti campaign in Age of Empires Definitive Edition, which is, well, what I'm playing right now, which is kind of obvious from the menu. If you haven't watched the first video, then either you can watch it if you want. I'll put a link up on it, a link to get to it right now on the screen, or you can just go to my channel through the, little button. If you're viewing this on Steam, like the little YouTube button, then you can go there and then view the other video. Or you can skip it if you found the first mission easy to beat, because you don't have to watch any of these videos in order, because each one of them will be covering a different mission. Anyway, now that the intro's out of the way, I'm going to get started. So, the reason why I have the game paused right now is because I've started this on the moderate difficulty, and when you are playing this mission, you do not want to waste any time. You want to rush like there's no tomorrow, and I don't blame you if in fact even want to turn it down to the standard difficulty, because this mission needs you to be one fast person, and it's even a little quite difficult on the moderate difficulty. I say that, but it was even difficult for me on the standard difficulty. In fact, I did beat this mission, but that was only on the standard difficulty. Anyway, enough rambling. I'll get started. So the first thing I immediately do is tell all my units to go down south, because I played this mission before, and I know where some of my own villages are, and I want to build up a town as fast as possible. Oh, by the way, just so you know, all of these videos I'm going to make is pretty much going to cover spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers for any of these missions and figure out for yourself, this is unfortunately probably not the video for you to watch. These videos are more for anyone who gets stuck on these missions and wants a little help or guidance, but not a full-on tutorial on how to beat them. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm using pretty basic tactics of like retreating my chariots a little bit and making sure that they don't get hit too much while I grab these villages. I'm also attacking mainly this side with the house because I know there's a tower over there and I don't want my units to get shot. Oh, well, this is just perfect. The enemy's gone and managed to kind of block my villages. Okay. So just very quickly, the two excellent places you can place your town center are either right next to these berries here. If you place it like this, it'll allow you to build more farms around it later on, or right up here next to the wood as well. I'm going to be placing it right up next to the wood, so I can just, well, chop wood and stuff like that easier, and, kind of, well, oh boy, the continuous sounds of my warriors hitting everything. I'm going to just put the sound volume a little bit lower so they're not, like, destroying your eardrums or anything. And I just need to resize the window. Yeah, so now pretty much my units here will start, my villagers here will start gathering the berries, which is actually exactly what I want them to do. I'm going to build them 3 more and immediately set them on wood, because I want to, well, get a good economy going, and immediately all these dudes getting on berries is actually exactly what I want them to do, since I want lots of food, so I'm able to, produce more villages and stuff like that. Oh, at this point, I might as well talk about the enemies you'll be facing. So, here we have the Babylonians. The Babylonians again, which honestly is a little bit annoying, because they named 2 enemy teams the exact same name. The Yamad, the Gutians, and then there's me. Cheese sandwich, there. That's my Steam username. So, pretty much what I figured out is that the yellow Babylonians, which I'll just refer to from now on as the yellow dudes, they are the ones you should look out for. They are already in Age 3, same as you, and they will come at you with some, hefty military armies. The Gutians here are pretty much a pushover. The Yamad are kind of a pushover. You should still be kind of wary of them, especially if they age up a bit. And generally, with my playstyle, they most likely are going to age up a bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just get 2 of my villagers here to immediately build a house, because I'm at my max population right now. And then immediately after that, I'm going to try and get them to build a siege workshop so I can get a catapult, so I can destroy the tower up here. Because up here is, yes, you can see the tower now. The reason why it seems like I'm kind of omnipotent and already knew it was there is because I played this mission before like 3 times, trying to get the hang of it. Yeah, so I'm going to try and destroy this tower up here, because I could just continuously hit it with all my, like, short swordsmen and chariots here, but that'll damage them a decent amount. Yeah, so now that that's built, I'm going to build the siege workshop. Oh, and by the way, if you can, play faster than what I'm doing right here, because I'm trying to, like, keep a good commentary going here and explain what I'm doing, while also playing the game to my best ability, and it's not working. It doesn't work as well when I'm just completely silent and just, well, clicking like mad and that kind of stuff. It was what I'm saying basically is I would be playing much better. Yeah, I know it's kind of an excuse, but it's also true. Okay, so one of the things I covered previously that's a really good upgrade to get is the wheel upgrade. I'm not going to get it right away though, because I want to make sure I have enough resources to get a catapult. And as you can see, a single one of them costs 180 wood. Yeah, so there isn't really too much downtime. Oh dear, one of my chariots went all the way over here. Yeah, this is kind of what I meant by the Yamad are not too much of a pushover. They actually have some built-up towers. I mean, like some built-up bases with some towers in it. This tower is actually upgraded. Like the look of this tower, it basically tells me that it's upgraded all the way to a guard tower. So even though they are in the Bronze Age, they actually have Iron Age towers to attack your guys with, which is that's not a good thing. Yeah, so I'm pretty much going to put a cut in here, because what's going to happen next is a lot of downtime of me just waiting for this dang stone thrower to get built, destroying this tower here, and some other stuff, a bit of building up. So yeah, I'll see you then. Okay, so here we are again after that small cut, and honestly a lot has happened. Maybe I should have not just played so long and explained a little more of what I'd done. So what I'd done here was I pretty much gathered the stone here that you've seen me destroying the tower around, and now I'm mining the gold there as well, and I've got a storage pit up here. I built 2 priests to make sure that my army stays nice and healed, and I've also defended a number of archer attacks by the Yamad dudes, the brown ones. And now they're actually sending in camels, which is honestly a little bit terrifying because they're very deadly. I also just moved 2 of my priests over here. Oh, and they've apparently, the Yamad dudes also apparently have a priest, which are now trying to convert some of my units. Oh, and they've also built a tower, so yeah, a lot has happened. A lot has been built up. The good news, though, is that the priest seemed to constantly change his target and couldn't really, like, fixate in one single unit, so I was able to just quickly kill him. Oh, and now they even have a stone thrower. So yeah, I'm just going to put a short little cut in very soon to show you why, when I was playing this just by myself and not recording, the Payday 2 soundtrack was just pretty much perfect for exactly how hectic it is. So yeah, I'm putting a little cut in right now to show you what I mean. Yeah, so you can see what I meant there by just, well, how well it fits because how hectic everything is. By the way, I accidentally got a little distracted and actually started playing the game, so sorry about that. So that's why it seems like I just jumped forward just a tiny bit. So, by the way, what I was going to say is that, as I probably explained before, I've decided to move one of my stone throwers up here and attempt to deal with their tower here by, well, attacking it, since siege equipment is often the best way to deal with it. I'm also kind of just trying to maneuver my stone thrower to kill theirs while making sure mine doesn't die. Oh yes, that was a perfect hit. Yeah, so even though this tower... Oh, and I also built a few towers here because I was thinking, like, if you build towers over here, I'm going to try the exact same tactic and see how you like it. Also, this dude here, this single whatchamacallit I have here, short swordsman, he was being really annoying. That happens sometimes, unfortunately, in this game. There's just not really a way to avoid it. Oh, and there I go. I lose a priest and the whatchamacallit because I wasn't concentrating enough. I'm definitely going to have to build myself a new stone thrower. In fact, I'm just going to get these villagers here and build a closer siege workshop because it was a bit of a nightmare trying to get the last one over here. And I also really need to get rid of their siege workshop over here to make sure that they don't build any more to try and destroy my towers. In fact, maybe I can already attempt it with these units here. If I seem a little scattered and all over the place, sorry about that, but I'm desperately trying to come up with like tactics and stuff on the fly to try and deal with all this. I actually don't deal all that well with pressure, especially since I've ramped this up to the medium difficult, like the moderate difficulty setting. Before then, I had only like really been playing on the standard setting. That was actually how I first beat this mission here. I've also completely transitioned away from farms now. I mean, from hunting and foraging berries and stuff to just making farms, since you can put them inside your own base. Oh, damn it. And there they go, building another stone thrower. So, I might as well cover one of the things that actually really helped me on that in this mission, and that is, if you get a whole bunch of the similar units, for example, these chariot archers right here, because they all move at a similar speed, and they're all ranged, you can press Control 1, and now that's selected them as a control group. So, whenever I press 1 on the keyboard, it immediately selects these 3 chariot archers. And if you want to reassign a control group, you can just hit Control on your keyboard again, and then press 1, and it will then set it so that it'll then like add new units to the control group. Also, another thing I really like to do is I like to set every single catapult or stone thrower or whatever kind of siege engine I have to the no attack stance. This doesn't mean that it will like not attack completely. Instead, what it means is that hold on, I'm just trying to move my village and stuff away from the priest so he dies by a tower, which is what happened. Yeah, so instead of making it so that the catapult or stone thrower or whatever other siege engine you have doesn't attack just completely, it makes it so that it will attack, but only when you actually tell it to attack. So otherwise, if that didn't happen, as I mentioned in my first video already, it'll just start lobbing rocks everywhere and can actually be a detriment to you. Also, as you can see here, the pathfinding isn't always that great. It's currently trying to like lob rocks at this building here, but it's not doing such a good job it's not actually doing such a good job doing that. Yeah, and also until you get to the other side of the map, gold is a rare resource in my opinion, so that's why I'm trying to maneuver my villagers away from all this and try and keep them safe. Also, since the enemy is building camel units, I'm going to build a stable and attempt to also build them because, again, attacking the enemy with their own medicine seems kind of poetic in this situation. So right now I've chosen just to have my stone thrower attack the building, and then have my other units attack the enemy stone thrower, since the enemy stone thrower in this case was actually stupid enough to start running towards my towers and also go past this swordsman here. Oh yeah, by the way, considering just how intense this mission can get, like as you can see, these villagers, they just keep on coming back over and over and over again, and they even like trying to build siege workshops while my units are still there. They're just that persistent. I don't blame you if you cave in and just use a few cheats if you get really, really low on gold in this mission. Like the ones you get more coinage. But I'm going to try and beat this all without any cheats or anything. Right, so now that you pretty much know my tactics for, well, establishing a base and everything and keeping it well defended in this, well, very frantic and hectic mission, I'm going to now skip ahead a bit until I've reached the Iron Age, so I can kind of cover really pushing on the enemy and trying to raid them and kill all their units and stuff. Oh damn, they converted one of my broadswordsmen. Yeah, by the way, a lot of these teams, the Babylonians, they've got really good priests. Okay, so here we are again after that cut, and as you can see, my empire's doing quite fine. I've reached the Iron Age, the attacks have slowed down a bit more, I've definitely got a handle on the situation. I had to deal with a few catapults, by the way, which are the upgrades of stone throwers, and a couple of quite good Babylonian units. In fact, these two dudes here, they are long swordsmen. I'm actually not capable of even getting these dudes. They are I have them solely because I was able to convert some Babylonian dudes as they ran over. They had like such high armor that they were just soaking up all the damage from my towers. So I thought, hey, why not get my priests to convert them? And apparently for some reason, the enemies suck at converting my units. Like, it takes ages for them to do it, and I'm able to just like shoot them down with a whole bunch of these chariot archers I have here in my control group 1, like I was explaining before. But when I try to do it on the enemy swordsmen, they were super duper easy to convert. That being said, I have lost a few units here and there to conversion. Now, one thing I want to cover is this side of the map. So, from playing this before, I actually know that there's actually quite a large deposit of stone and gold here. In fact, what I've done is I've moved my entire logging operation, or almost all of it, over to here. In fact, this dude should really be getting over there as well, because I started to notice, hey, most of the trees are chopped down in my area, and some of them are actually offering me protection. Like this bunch of trees here, and this bunch of trees here are actually like blocking off enemies so they don't get closer to me, and they'd have to like use a heavy catapult or something to rip through them, which would take a tiny bit of time to do. So yeah, that kind of guards my territory, and I like it. I've also built a whole bunch of towers here. I'm now basically stealing these berries, and I don't even know if you ever saw this, but there was a dock here that the Yamad owned, but I killed it because I don't really care about trading with them, and it was at one point producing a few ships, which I see as a danger. And at this point, the enemy just keep on constantly sending villagers at you. I mean, they're sending villagers constantly at me, which I'm just destroying easily, which is probably increasing my score a lot that I'll see at the end of the game. Another thing I wanted to cover is that the Gutians, they pretty much at this point, like usual, have stopped making units. They own a few buildings and stuff here, but I've just decided I'm going to take like 1 or 2 catapults over there and just destroy all that stuff because I can, and also that tower, once it's dead, it's going to clear the way for the rest of my stuff to scout further down without being shot at. Like this barracks, I doubt it'll ever produce anything, but just to be on the safe side, I'm sending over the catapult squad to kill it. Another thing to remember is that there are some buildings and units that you can get along this side of the map for completely free. I, for example, did not build this house. I just sent these 2 chariot archers here, which I'm now using as scouts because they have pretty much, if you have a ranged unit like a chariot archer and it's got a long range on its bow like they do here, as you can see I'm like actually outranged in this tower, they will make excellent scouts because the game will have to account for their range and then that will be their line of sight. So even though I can build scout cavalry, I haven't built a single one because why do that when you have chariot archers to scout? So also what I was going to mention just before I started talking about the chariot archers is these units here, cavalry, I didn't build them either. I got them for free. They were also on this side of the map. So, and I also know there's actually even a stable somewhere like much lower down on the map. The reason why I haven't gone and collected that is because well, I guess I just haven't yet. But there is two ways you can kind of go about this, two tactics you can use when it comes to the stable and cavalry and everything you can collect. One of them is making sure that you do not scout this side of the map at all, or at least much, and only really get this gold and this stone to keep your reserves high enough so that you can pretty much fend off the enemies. Or another way, and then what you do once you've done that is that you just you build up as many houses as possible and try and get your army as big as possible. Yeah, so what I've done here is I've started trying to convert the two enemy units that were on the other side of my priest, so that they wouldn't be able to target him very well, and then I'd be able to get them. Also, apparently difficulty actually changes how much difficulty actually changes how much your enemies upgrade units as well, because previously when I was playing on standard, oh dear, this is not good. Move out of the way, guys. Oh no. Okay, good, I didn't lose one. I almost lost one. But this is the reason why I like to keep my catapults on the no attack stance, because if they were on the stand ground stance, which is the stance they're usually on, then by now they may have already thrown a bunch of rocks at my units and potentially killed them. Yeah, so I'm going to build a bunch more chariot archers, just send them over here and have them to guard the catapults, because I know that mass archers are actually one of the Hitti's one of the specialties of the Hittis. You can use them really well to kind of just flank these enemy units. Yeah, so as I was saying before, this upgrade here is actually the best kind of swordsman you can get. They are the legions. Only the Babylonians and the Romans and maybe like one other civilization gets them unless you're playing with a full tech tree. What I mean by full tech tree is, well, there is an option in the when starting a skirmish game to enable the entire tech tree so that everyone has got access to all the technologies and all the units, and no civilization is unique if you want to just play on a level playing field, that sort of thing. Me, however, I prefer playing without a full tech tree. So I'm pretty much going to, at this point, put another cut in since I've explained what I've been doing for a decent while here, and I'll come back once I've got the catapults back into position, because most of them are on this side of the map, as you already know, destroying stuff, and I want them back in position over here so I can get them to focus on destroying this entire Yamad settlement, because in my opinion it's high time I started bombarding those dudes. They are annoying me. So yeah, I'll see you then. Right, so here we are after that last cut, and as you can see, base is kind of well defended. I haven't really moved on much from here, but I've mined a lot of the stone, destroyed all the buildings here I said I was going to, and now I'm moving on to attack the Yamad settlement like I said I was going to. My catapults are upgraded to heavy catapults, although they've probably already seen me do that before. And I've got a massive blob of chariot archers, which is generally how I like to win and play this mission. I just spam them because their long range allows them to kill priests. As the Hitti, I actually have an upgrade to the range of all archer units. I forgot to mention that before, but now I'm mentioning it. So they're really, really excellent at just nailing everything I want. They can even outrange some of the worst towers that some civilizations can make. And I've also researched, like, I forget what the upgrade is called. It might be called ballistics or something like that. You get research from this place, the government center. Just know that the upgrade looks like a massive ballista bolt, and it makes all ranged attacks more accurate. So they're able to hit targets better and stuff like that. I'm also going to send in a bunch of military units here, since I know, like not military, but like close range units here, because I'm thinking why not defeat the enemy with more than just these archers here, especially since I know that all my units are safe from my catapults, since I've got them all on the no attack stance. I can kind of just shoot arrows at everything, like piecemeal. Okay, so here we are again, and I'm honestly, well, I find this idea I had very funny. So, while I was playing up to this point and getting ready for this part of the recording, I was thinking in my head, the Yamhad here have built a lot of walls. Why don't I just use these walls as if they were my own, because they aren't going to like destroy these walls because they are on their side. They might even repair the walls. So what I did was I gathered enough stone so I could research the ballista tower upgrade on my granary, which is why these towers here are now firing gigantic ballista bolts that can pretty much kill a citizen, as you can see there, in 2 hits, instead of regular old instead of regular old whatchamacallit, regular old arrows. Yeah, so as you can see here, all these guys here are trying to get to my priests, but it's really not working too well for them. Kind of just leading them around in circles, and they're getting shot at by the ballista bolts and everything else. In fact, I'm pretty sure, yeah, that they've even got them to hit their own legion with the catapult bowl. Yes, I'm just completely just retreating everything up here, and then sending in the chariot archers to deal with this catapult, because I'm fairly certain I can... Okay, no, I can't move out of the way completely. I'm apparently not that good. But yeah, as you can see, they can take about like 1 hit before they go down, which is excellent, because I have a couple of priests up here to just heal everyone. Yeah, so that's... I also went and built like a base up here, so I'm just trying to chop down enough trees here so that I have enough room to build like a siege workshop. In fact, I can already build it. This town center is not meant to have any farms around it. I'm just building a base here so that I have a fallback point. Like if any of my units start dying, I can just immediately crate them back out of here. I've also went and before, like last time I was playing this mission, I didn't do this, but I've set every single chariot archer on the stand ground stance I have here, and also have group control group 1, so if I press 1, it just selects them all. I've done this so that anytime an enemy catapult or anything comes up, I can just be like, group 1, move in there, go deal with it, and I can micro them, which is the term for when like you move them back and forth and stuff to like avoid catapult bolts and stuff. And yeah, I basically I done that to deal with the enemy stuff. Also, at the government center, I've researched a siege upgrade so that now my heavy catapults... Oh wait, no, not heavy catapults. I actually haven't researched that upgrade. I bet I can, though. Oh, I almost can. So yeah, once you upgrade the heavy catapult, your catapults become the best they can be. And as well as that, they also gain the ability to destroy trees. So if the enemy has like a huge tree line protecting them, you can just go, oi catapults, I want this thing dead, and you can just start firing rocks at it, instead of actually like manually chopping it down with villagers, which... in my opinion, that's one of the most awesome things you can do in this game, and so fun to do. Ah, okay, so here... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to hurt my own tower now. Okay, no, I'm not. Yeah, so here, they're trying to send in their legions to deal with my heavy catapults. But as you can see there, I was just able to get it out of the way in time, so that it couldn't really hurt me. Oh, and any alerts I have that the enemy's attacking over here, I generally don't worry about too much, because as you can see here, the Legion here only did about like 10 damage, and then he was just completely wiped out by the ballista tower. Oh, okay, so here, the enemies have started going for like, at least they're trying some catapult on catapult action. So I'm trying to mainly just move mine out of the way and deal with them with my chariot archers, because I want the enemy to be concentrating on my chariot archers instead of my catapults, because in my opinion my catapults are much more valuable than my chariot archers, because these guys just cost wooden food, which is basically unlimited amounts on this map by now, because I can just keep farming. And I mean, I've got ages before I finish chopping all the trees on this map, whereas gold is a little more limited. In fact, I've almost like used up this entire gold vein over here. I do have 2,000 of that, but trust me, that can go very quickly once you really start needing to like dip into your reserves and your catapults and everything are getting destroyed. Oh, look at that, a whole bunch of villagers just near the shore, and a bunch of them aren't moving. Say goodnight, boys.
Dead.
Oh, I love doing that. Yeah, so normally I don't bother with like town centers and that kind of stuff, but these enemies, this enemy Babylonian team, the yellow guys, they seem to love just building village upon villager, and I've even had it at one point in the moderate on this like difficulty on the moderate difficulty, where if I get units close enough to these villages, they actually start harassing my catapults and stabbing them with pitchforks, and I don't want that. So that's why I'm pretty much instead of just like moving in and destroying all the vital buildings and stuff, I've just decided to do a kind of a scorched earth policy where I just one building goes, then the next goes, then the next, then the next, just destroy it all. I don't care what it is. It can be a single house. I'm throwing an entire catapult ball at it because honestly, it's quite fun to see a house destroyed like that. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much going to be putting a cut in here, and I'll only really be cutting back in unless if the enemy really starts swarming me with a lot of legions or a lot of catapults. Okay, like I mentioned, I'll be back if anything interesting happens. Something interesting has happened. The bee swarming tactics the enemy I told you like sometimes use have happened. They pretty much trying to swarm me with legions. Luckily, my catapults here can pretty much just rip a hole in them. So they have, for some stupid reason, decided not to really move here, which I honestly don't know why you'd ever do that. Oh no, that was terrible. Okay, so one of the legions just walked right up and got me to kill my own priests. I'm actually gonna just tell my catapults to stop attacking here. Yeah, so I'm now gonna need to get 2 more priests, and I can't really actually rebuild any of the legions either. Oh, even one of my catapults got destroyed. Because, as you already know, I converted them, so I just lost 2 of my best men. The good news, though, is that I can I can fill this slot up with chariot archers. In fact, the Assyrians actually are also able to train horse archers, so I'm just going to train up a bunch of those, and from my original archery range over here, I'm going to upgrade them into heavy horse archers because they just have better stats overall. It's I've heard like professional Age of Empires Definitive Edition players say that it's not always a worthwhile upgrade because you're better off just building chariot archers and having them be like a really good raiding force. But in this case here, I have enough spare gold that I'm okay with like using it up. Even though I just said your gold can go quite quickly, I am going to like try and ration the rest of it. Oh no, oh dear. Yeah, so as you can see, they've really started ramping up the catapult production at this point. And I'm just desperately trying to kill them all. Originally, I actually got so flustered I kind of rage quit and quit this mission. But I don't know, I guess over the last few like week or so, because that's honestly how recently I just ended up rage quitting the mission. I apparently gotten a lot better at the game, so yay. Oh yeah, also another thing. If you're using my tactics, make sure every new catapult you build is immediately set to the no attack stance, so they don't start running around and murdering all your units accidentally with their area of effect. So, you remember that like small lull I was talking about before? Well, yeah, as you can see, this is pretty much where I was before. I've went and pretty much wiped out the entire yellow Babylonian team, and even just stole their gold right at the end. They pretty much put up no fight. Like, there was nothing really worthy of recording. There was like a few legion down here all grouped up, but I ended up killing them. I ended up converting a few of them. Oh, and that Yamad settlement I mentioned before, it was a complete pushover. With just this small army here, I was able to destroy it because they weren't really producing any units. They had 2 guard towers, but this elephant here, which I upgraded to an armored elephant, which is like the best elephant you can have in the game, was able to just kill it himself. So then after that, what I done was I built 2 docks, built a transport ship, and transported my units across this small river because otherwise I'd have to walk all the way around. And now I'm pretty much up to the last part of the game. You can pretty much stop the video now. Like at this point you would have just won, but if you just want to know how to get through this wall here, stick around and I'll try and show you and hurry it up. So, first thing you want to deal with is just these annoying towers here, these guard towers. If you've, apparently that was the last thing they had as well, so Yemhad is defeated as well. The Gutians, I know they're up there with the really pathetic base that never ever produces much units on standard difficulty or moderate, which is the one I'm playing on. And you can pretty much defeat it with a bunch of chariot archers, because if you upgrade them enough, their range ends up outranging the towers that the Gutians have up there. So how I like to break in here is pretty much just bash the entire wall down. So I'll just use attack ground on the trees here, because if you upgrade it to heavy catapults, as you can see, boom, tree dead. And then you could just focus on the actual wall here. And then after that, you break in, get the war chest, and bring it all the way back over to here, and you pretty much won. There are just a few military units inside the base I want to cover, but they honestly shouldn't trouble you too much. Alright, so now that all that's dead, you can kind of move in. Oh wait, I guess not. So, so they have a priest, and they have like a few other units, but you can pretty easily just bait them out of there, as you can see here. Like, the horse archers decide, like, oh no, we're under attack, quick men, go and like, deal with them, but he's not dealing with them very well. They haven't even killed a single chariot archer yet. And now the archers are kind of panicking and running away because they're starting to realize, oh, these are Hattians we're dealing with. They're super good archers. They outrange us. Oh no, what do we do? And the answer is, you die. I'm gonna win. Okay. So here, they got a priest who's trying to convert one of my units, but I moved them back before he can do it, so he has like conversion resets, and you only really need about, oh, okay, look at that. So he managed to convert one of my dudes, but then immediately all the rest kind of look around and scream at him, traitor, like in that one scene in Star Wars Episode 7, if you've seen that, where that one stormtrooper just screams at Finn and calls him a traitor. This is pretty much what's happened. And I doubt this priest can convert the catapult in time either, because a rock is heading his way. Yep, dead. That's pretty much how I like to deal with the priests. And then it's just a case of destroying the last few towers they have and the last few walls they have. Any units you lost, like that heavy horse arch I had, you can pretty much just build and send them over here, or you can even build an advanced base if you want. Like, oh, I used to have villages over here, but I guess not. Wait, no, I still do over here. So yeah, you can just build another archery range if you want. Doesn't matter at this point, and then just build up a couple more units, like whatever you lost. Unless, of course, they're legions. If you lose any legions, then you can't really build up anymore because you're converting them off the enemies. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. That's most of the military units they had in here. Everything else should be a complete pushover. Destroy the wonder if you want, collect the war chest, bring it back home, and you win. So thanks for watching this guide, and the next one I will probably get out a little bit slower than these last two, because I actually haven't played the last mission in this campaign yet. By the way, this campaign only actually has 3 missions, so you're more than halfway through already. The Hitti campaign is apparently very short. So yeah, thanks for tuning in and watching this. I appreciate it if you watched all the way to the end. I tried not to make it take too long and drag out, but yeah, ending the video now because I don't want this to drag out too long either.